تفضل. تفضل خالد.
What's the ruling on a woman wearing like loose pants and going out in public, or wearing it at home?
Question says, what is the ruling on a woman wearing loose pants in public or at home? In brief, the scholars of Islam, they mention that the woman's hijab is supposed to be loose. It's not supposed to be tight. It isn't supposed to show the unnecessary parts of her body to those who aren't allowed to look at those parts of her body. Obviously, a woman has a leg or two legs. That's something that she can't get away from. But the density, the thinness, the thickness of her legs, her thighs, her shanks, is something that non-mahram is not supposed to see. Someone who isn't a husband is supposed to see. Does that mean that it has to be a dress, a gown, a robe? Or if the purpose is suited through loose pants, does that also suit the requested covering or the style of covering? Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this or not? The concept of showing a woman's lower body, upper body, which is right now, let's stick with the issue of legs for now. Very important. A woman's behind, a woman's thighs, a woman's shins, her feet, her knees, etc. The shape and the detailed type or the casting of her legs is not to be seen by someone who isn't a mahram. طيب. Does it matter if it's a dress, a robe, a skirt, or if it's loose pants? What's the argument here? Because the scholars of Islam mention that a woman is supposed, that the hijab and yakuna fadfadan ghayra dayiq, has to be fadfad, has to be wide and loose and not tight. It doesn't necessarily state that it can't be pants. Everybody understand this? First issue dealing with this is that may be applicable to some sisters for argument's sake, but not to other sisters. Let's say, for argument's sake, a sister that's thin, that doesn't have thick legs. Maybe, say for argument's sake, she can wear really, really loose pants and you can't see the direct shape of her body along her shirt. A sister that's not thin, how wide can the pants possibly be? Everybody understand this? Number two, the second problem is that among the non-Muslims themselves, there's a very long discussion and argument with regards to pants. We didn't get into anything to pertain to men yet. Imitating men, another condition of hijab. We're just talking about the concept of a woman wearing pants between a woman wearing a skirt. You'd be shocked. You read the different religious verdicts from the Jews and Christians and other followers about the vice of a woman wearing pants with regards to it showing the form and figure of her lower body. Everybody understand this? So let's look at it like this. One time it was a sister I got into a discussion with. So the discussion was about a woman wearing a skirt, which is wide and loose, a long dress, a blouse, maybe in a man's shirt, for example, and a long khimar. So I initially said, there's nothing wrong with that. Why did I say that? Because what? She's covered up, just like an abaya or a burqa or whatever traditional Islamic piece of clothing. Can you see the shape of her breast? No. Can you see the shape of her behind? No. Can you see the intricate details of her thighs and legs and feet? No. Her hair, her neck? No. Just like the normal one-piece hijab. So what's the problem? So I said, if the shirt is big enough, if the skirt is loose enough, if the shirt is long enough, if the khimar is loose enough and wide enough and comes down and drapes upon her bosom, what's the mushkila? You know what the sister said? Sister wasn't a student of knowledge. She wasn't a scholar. She said, what sister is willing and capable of going through all of those precautions and unwilling to wear the normal type of hijab? If you think about it, to go through all of those precautions and not just do what? Put on one piece with a long khimar, class, done. The concept of what? Common aql. As a genius in work clothes. Everybody understand this? So I submitted. Doesn't mean it's haram to wear the shirt. No, I didn't say that, but it just makes what? So that means, the equation means, is that if the average sister is unwilling to go through all, or capable as well, incapable of going through all of those precautions, then she's going to wear a skirt, a shirt, a tunic top, loose pants, and end up falling in what? A violation with one of those conditions because it's just too much. Everybody understand this? Loose pants, but this. When you walk and when it blows, the wind blows, because it's too many intricate pieces. It's too many what? Intricate pieces. Instead of the abaya, which is what? With the sound effects. Is one what? So it's windy. I forgot this. This isn't clean. This isn't dry. None of those problems are what? There. But my shirts are in the cleaners that are long. So I just threw in a quick one. It's not super tight, but it's not as what? Loose and long. Or my skirt, everybody understand this? You're going to fall into those what? Those issues. So that's what I would say with regards to a woman wearing loose pants outside. Clearness or not. Let alone the fact that is wearing pants a means of imitating men or not. That's another problem that you have to deal with. That's another mountain that you have to what? Climb up when you don't necessarily have to. Also, thirdly is, why does a woman want to wear loose pants? She's a professional, nurse, a doctor. She wears a dress or robe. People look down upon her, being a part of ISIS and this and that. If that's the reason, or that's the things that determine and dictate your type or style of hijab, then that's clearly what? That's problematic. That's what? Why could that nigga go on and on, problem after problem after problem, which will leave us with the simple equation of doing what? Don't wear loose pants and wear what? Abaya. Let alone, at best, a skirt or a dress. Everybody clear on this or not? Let alone the fact that oftentimes loose pants, because of the style or the fabric, are just as revealing as tight pants. They're made in a certain way. This is well known. Certain types of dresses and pants, the fabric, this type of sweatpants, it's made to show you some type of what? Contour. Instead of pool of what? Deception. Everybody understand this? The Prophet ﷺ says what? Kasiyatun adiyat. They have on clothes, but actually they're what? Naked. And there's certain types of pants or dresses that are more revealing and more intriguing and more means of infatuation than if she had on tight pants. And that's well known. So why? Just wear what? Hijab. So we, inshallah, exclude both of those. The loose dress, let alone the what? The loose pants. But no doubt, a sister that wears a skirt, a loose skirt and a loose dress is better than a sister that wears the what? Loose pants. Never said tight. Never said tight. We said loose pants. And the sister that wears the loose pants is better than the sister who? No question about that. We can't be oppressive. The sister that has on the tight jeans and a tunic top with her kimar tucked in her neck and a shirt, the shirt is a short sleeve shirt. It's not super tight, but it's not super loose. Under her short sleeve shirt is a what? No, skin tight. Type of turtleneck, skin tight. Her breasts, whatever her size of her chest, the bust size, is invisible, plain sight. And the tunic top just covers her behind and the front part of her thighs. That's better than the sister who has on skin tight pants with no tunic top. It's unfortunate. So the point is we're trying to get into, brothers and sisters, as we said this in classes before, a woman's hijab is a manifestation of her understanding and practice of the deen. Don't ever forget that. A woman's hijab is one of, not the only, manifestations of a woman's fiqh and her amal. No doubt about that. And oftentimes, as he said, you can determine the state of an army through what? One soldier. So you may go to a masjid, not judging nobody, or trying to be judgmental, but you, or a brother's house or whatever, a country, and you may be able to see the understanding and the physical devotion to a religion through a sister's hijab. Or brother as well. Brother has a trimmed beard, a shaved beard, tight pants, loose pants. He rolls them up for the salah. He doesn't roll it. There's no doubt about that. Someone who has a little, shadow beard is not like someone who has a what? A mufti face. Everybody clear this or not? It's not the what? It's not the same. The brother with the full beard is not like the brother with the what? The goatee. With the trimmed beard. Let alone, we didn't get into the goatee yet. Goatee may be worse than a shaved face. Because it's like you live in two different worlds now. No doubt. The brother with the trimmed mustache is not like the one with the handlebar mustache. There are levels to this. There are what? The levels. So if you're willing to go through all of this and that, why not just what? Rock the full beard. Wear the full hijab. Why not? Make it easy and simple what? On yourself. Why be afraid and why be shy? Are Jewish women afraid and shy? They represent their culture. That is not even religious practice in most cases. Why they wear the hats and stuff. It's not even from deen. Culture. He's never been to Poland or Russia. He's never ever been to the Ukraine. He's in New York City, Brooklyn, walking down the street with what? With full pride. I dare you to say something to him or throw or be prejudiced against him. But the problem is in the Jewish neighborhoods, you first and foremost is you drive through the Jewish neighborhood, it doesn't take you 5 minutes. That's the first concept. You're driving through the neighborhood. You're going to see nothing but minivans. Go to the Jewish neighborhoods in Brooklyn. I guarantee you 9 out of 10 cars are going to be a what? Minivan. Symbolizing what? Family. Every woman walking down the street is going to have a baby stroller, a skirt. Everybody understand this? There's going to be a Jewish bakery, a Jewish wine shop, a Jewish meat shop. There's going to be a Jewish school bus. There's going to be a Jewish bank. There's going to be a Jewish supermarket. There's going to be a Jewish pizza parlor. There's going to be a Jewish sushi. Look at that. So the one who wants to grow his beard or have this or the strings on the pants, he doesn't find a difficulty in what? Muslim sister, she can't feed her family unless she wears the loose pants. The brother can't get a respectable job. I'm not saying this is true. Like some brothers have made. I know many limousine drivers, car drivers who had what? Full beards for years. I've known them. Until one brother said, I have to shave it because of what? The whip. Uber, I have to. That's not true. That's not what? That's not true. But the fact is, certain jobs, certain types of occupation, the Muslim has to what? Shave his face. The Jews, not all of them, we're talking about some of them, they don't have to what? So this goes to show us economic infrastructure, economic security and stability is from the most important things for the Muslims to establish. Economic infrastructure, that's one, just having an infrastructure, even if it's weak, but having a what? Infrastructure. Let alone having a what? Strong infrastructure. Let alone having some type of stability. Let alone some type of what? On a person can what? Sustain himself away from the others. That is from not necessarily but it is from the what? Most important things for the Muslims to look after. Building this, establishing that, making this, opening up, pumping this, tayyib, alhamdulillah. But without money and without the ability of being independent and having your own and to practice your religious acts, to take off for Jumu'ah. I don't shake women's hands in this store. We don't take this type of card. We don't do that. You can't do that if you have your hands out begging. So this is a wake-up call, yani, for myself, for all of us as Muslims living as minorities. We need to get our act together. And if not, then we're going to keep what? I'm understanding this, let alone the fact, I don't think that all sisters wear loose pants because of that. There's some who just want to wear loose pants. Or they have weak iman, or lack of fiqh. Or they want to fit in. Just like the beard, you know. You trim the beard so that's intimidating. No doubt. No one wants to have a full beard in a ponytail. That's scary looking. Trim it, then you can be more acceptable to the kuffar. And that's unfortunate. That's my view with regards to that. And Allah knows best. As far as wearing them in the house, then it depends on who's in the house. If it's a non-mahram man in the house, then it's just like outside. And that's a major misunderstanding of many Muslims, men and women, and that a woman doesn't have to have the same hijab in the house. Anytime there's mahram, non-mahram, that's the ruling. Let's say hypothetically speaking, hypothetical now, if this was in the middle of nowhere, no one's around. Is it permissible for her to take off her hijab and to walk out, get some fresh air or something? That's one thing, perhaps. No one is watching. She's far from civilization, quote unquote. Everybody understand this? Or she's inside of her home, her comfortable, warm, safe, cozy home, and there are what? Non-mahrams. Whether they're related, friends, cut, this and that, or not. The ruling of the hijab is based off of mahram and not the location. Am I clear on this or not? So therefore, whoever's in her house, if it's a mahram and her odor is not tight clothes, la bas. If she's in front of her husband, la bas. She can wear tight pants, loose pants, la bas. Obviously, the scholars of Islam, they differ on the issue of a woman wearing pants. Me personally, I take the view that it's permissible for a woman to wear pants as long as they're women's pants. As long as they're designed and contoured for a woman's physique. And Allah knows best.
Question from online. Hanan Islam, New York, New York. Would you recommend for an aspiring student of knowledge to abandon all other studies and focus solely on Arabic and Quran when they are at a young age? Or should they spread out what they study?
Next question. We've answered that too many times. Fadal. If it's nothing to say with regards to studying, going overseas, learning Quran and Arabic, the Nike check says what? Just do it. It's that simple. Do you need to study this book and that book and this and that and that? You go into the general lecture after Maghrib, tayyib. You listen and watch online, that's what? Tayyib. You have a book that you read, your pocketbook on a train, that's fine. But we're talking about your systematic studying in the beginning should be spearheaded and focused. Everybody understand this? My formal classes are only what? Quran and what? Arabic. For 2 years. 5 years. 3 years. We got this or not?
No.
It doesn't mean that I can't have a what? A pocketbook on a train. Pocketbook, not a pocketbook. A pocketbook. Everybody understand this? A metin. Or you listening to a lecture. Tayyib. Or for argument's sake, one may say, I'm not going to study or read anything for 2 years except it's pertaining to what? Arabic and Quran. Just do it. It's nothing to talk about. It's a necessary sacrifice. You don't need to study this fiqh class and this aqidah class and this tafsir class. Don't be hasty, akhi. Once you get Arabic, let's say not even the Quran. A person said, I learned the proper tajweed. I studied with Khalid. He gave me ijazah. I can recite it. That's sufficient. I'll read and memorize what? The rest later on. Tayyib. But Arabic is the what? That's the key to aqidah. That's the key to fiqh. That's the key to tafsir. Brothers overseas going to Medina, studying Arabic, learning Arabic properly, Ajurumiyya, these books. That's the key to sitting with the ulama. The devil's deception. Don't study Arabic and learn Arabic and focus on Arabic because you have to what? Sit with the ulama. How can I sit with the ulama if I don't know fi'l, fa'il, marfu', mansub? The devil tricks you. Focus. Take your time, young man. Don't rush what? You don't know, huh? It's fake piety. Next question. See the example of what? Fake piety. Next question. Fadda Abdul Qawi.
Sheikh, so if you was making salah all the time and after you finished you realized that you missed a verse or you skipped a verse, after the fact you make it up or you just...
With regards to if you skip something or you forget something after the fact, what do you do? First thing you do is you go to the Hadith Disciple playlist on Sujood al-Sahw. That's number one. That's number one. In general, it depends on what it is.
Just like skip an ayah.
Skipping an ayat, that's not necessarily from the pillars of the prayer, unless it's pertaining to Fatiha. But let's just say you forgot a verse in Surah Al-Ikhlas, for example, or you forgot to recite the second surah. Some of the scholars of Islam say that it's preferable to make this sujood. Because the Prophet's words is that nasiya ahadukum, when one of you forgets, mandatory, obligatory or not. And some of them say that you only should make sujood al-sahw, sujood al-sahw, pertaining to that which is from the necessary parts of the prayer, that the prayer cannot be done completely without. Clear on that? As far as the position or this and that or the Fatiha, that's a different story. Clear on that? So if you, like you say, you normally recite a surah after the Fatiha and you forgot. Some of the ulama say you should make the sujood because it's a means of completing your prayer. And it's a means of leaving a salah and the shaitan has nothing to laugh at or mock you. You've covered yourself. And you're getting closer to Allah through implementing the sunnah of making the what? The sujood al-sahw. Mandatory or not. Allah knows best.
Muhammad Zakaria, Manchester, UK. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where do you advise students to study abroad after seeking ilm in one's locality?
Get it wherever it is. It's the earth of Allah. Wherever it is. Egypt, Saudi, Yemen, South Africa, North Africa, West Africa, Malaysia, China, wherever the knowledge is, wherever the benefit is, whatever is suitable for you, whatever is feasible for you, whatever you have the ability to do. If you have the ability to go anywhere, financially, your age, your qualifications, then go for the best. Try to get the most authentic, the closest source that you can get, the shortest chain of narration. If you can't get into Medina, I'm 27. Or I've been out of high school for a certain amount of years. I can't go to Medina, go somewhere else. I can't go to Egypt. Egypt is like this, Yemen is like that, wherever it is. There is no one center in which all knowledge is. There's no one place which is 101% superior to other places. You travel, you mix and you match, and you build your what? You build your own. Wherever you have the ability to get to. And don't ever forget that Medina is sought by so many people. And what a beautiful place Medina is. One of the greatest, if not maybe the greatest blessing of Allah upon me after Islam is for me to go and live in the Prophet city for all of those years. But everyone can't go to Medina. How many people want to go to Medina? It's a crowd. It's saturated. You may go somewhere else. And subhanAllah, by you going to another city, you may actually get more time and attention by the scholars of that city. In Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about outside of Saudi. Because there's not as many students there. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students in Medina, all crowded around this one Sheikh Abdul Muhsin. Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, Sheikh Ali Tawajidi mentioned, we were in Kulit al-Hadith, I think it was our last year. He was talking about the virtues of Sheikh Abdul Muhsin al-Abad. And amongst the fitna of different sheikhs and this sheikh and this doctor and so on and so forth. He said from the virtues of Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, forget the fact that he's the oldest, he's the most senior. He says from his virtues is that he is never trying to attach a person to himself. He said you may study with Sheikh Abdul Muhsin for 25 years and you walk by him, he doesn't know who you are, nor does he care necessarily. And you study him for what? 25, 30 years. Everybody understand this? Why is it like that? Because he doesn't want to know who you are, you can't go visit him, talk to him, but because he has so what? Hundreds of people sit on him every night. How much special attention are you going to what? Get. You go to his masjid. Okay, every now and then you may be able to walk with him, which we've done many times, from his house from the masjid to his house. Hold his hand. We did that before and ask him certain things. But you can't always get that because there's brothers from Algeria, brothers from Saudi, brothers from here, brothers from there, brothers from there, all crowded around him. And that's Medina. You may go to Riyadh or Qasim or another place, and you may have a smaller, more humble teacher or doctor in which you go into his house and sit with him and talk with him and debate with him, and he actually take you under his what? Under his wing. Or even in Medina too. The point I'm trying to get to is that the most popular is not always the most suitable for you. You visit the big sheikhs. Meet them, study with them. But you need the personal what? Tutelage. You become a disciple of somebody that can't come. Everybody understand this? Allah knows best.
NB, Toronto, Canada. Hayakallah Sheikh. Can you mention some of the benefits of traveling for knowledge, not keeping in mind the destination, but the act of traveling itself? Do you think it's necessary for a student of knowledge to be a traveler/adventurer?
Next question.
AM, Manchester, UK. How do I know if Allah is answering my dua? Is Allah instead keeping problems away/saving it for akhirah? Or is my dua even reaching Allah due to sins or incorrect technique?
Don't worry about that. It's not your job. It's not your place. You just do your job. Make dua to Allah consistently, persistently. Make sure that you have the proper technique through fiqh, learning, the classes, the books, Ibn Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah. Learn the etiquettes of dua from the speech of the ulama of Islam, the great scholars of Islam. Everybody understand this? Once you've read the different books, just as an example, we know we take our information from Kitab and Sunnah. But Ibn Qayyim has a great deal of service that he made to the issue of dua. Great deal. One may say unlike any other scholar, in which he talks about the times, the hearts. For example, Al-Jawab al-Kafi, Ad-Da' wa Dawa, the disease and the cure. He talks about dua in the beginning of the book in detail. Study that, learn that, practice that, and just keep doing it. Inshallah ta'ala, that's the correct technique. You just keep doing it. Is Allah answering my dua, this and that? That's not your what? Don't even think about that. I guarantee you, learning the proper way, practicing the proper way, and being persistent and not losing hope upon the proper way is more than enough to take your time and energy. And what are the chances of you making dua the right way and it never ever being heard by Allah and reaching Allah and being answered by Allah? What's the chances of that? Is Allah not the most generous? Everybody understand this or not? Just make sure that you're doing it the what? The right way, and make sure that you what? Keep doing it. And whatever happens is what Allah has decreed for you. Khalas. You get the reward for making dua. Your soul, your heart, your mind, your body is soothed by this. That's all you have to what? Worry about. The dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not a service like many of us think. I put in the paperwork, I didn't get a response. I paid the fee, I didn't get it. Allah doesn't owe us what? Anything. Allah doesn't owe us anything. There's no comparison between us and Allah. There's no comparison between our human world and what Allah does. Just what? Remain upon the path. That's the only thing you got to worry about. Allah knows best. Tafadal.
Yes. What are some practical, simple steps to developing like optimism in general, like to
Reading the Quran. No doubt. Story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. How much did he go through? How much did he suffer? But look what happened, what? He says, this is the manifestation of my dream. Allah knows best.
anything else?
That's good for now. Inshallah.
VA, Calgary, Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. May Allah bless you. What is the minimum we have to do to keep ties of kinship with family members who don't respect your wishes related to deen?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah bless you as well. The disciples in Calgary. The least that you have to do or perform with regards to keeping the ties of kinship for those who don't respect your wishes and the deen. Whatever is customary and cultural. Whatever is considered to be keeping good relations in Calgary. Whatever that is. Calling them every now and then. Seeing them every now and then. If they ask you for something basic, you give it to them. Wahakada. Anything that's beyond what's the basic standard, the line or the border, which would make people call you a bad family member, that's a different story. Everybody understand this? Where I come from, for man to see his grandmother from time to time. Everybody understand this? He's not the greatest grandson, but his grandmother wouldn't call him a what? A bad grandson. She wouldn't call him a what? She wouldn't call him a bad grandson. He's not the greatest, but he's not a what? Everybody understand this? That's the minimum standard in the culture and the custom. Allah knows best.
Abdul Hakim GD from Fort Worth, Texas. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am first grateful for this channel, alhamdulillah. My question is to the Ustad Munir. I have struggled to learn Arabic as I keep memorizing Quran and mastering Arabic. Should I memorize Hadith as well or leave it off until the first two?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and all of the disciples and the Lone Star State. Ameen. With regards to the question, then it's like we just previously said. Like Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah is quoted to have said, it's not important that you reach the goal. It's not important that you make the finish line. It's important is that you die upon the track. Die in the path. Die on the road. Keep striving. But learn the proper way. Maybe you need to diversify. Maybe you're the teacher. Maybe the book. Maybe your study habits. Maybe 10 hours out of the day is not good for you. It's too much. The location. You got to figure it out. Diversify. Once you figure out, inshallah, this is the proper way. Or that's relative, Khalid, but my proper way is best for me, my niche, then stick to that and just keep hacking at the tree. You have a sharp hatchet, you have a proper swinging technique, and you have the necessary strength, then do what? Keep chopping. Eventually the tree is going to what? It's going to fall. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's all you got to worry about. As far as memorizing hadiths along with Arabic, it's a yes and no answer. Because a part of learning Arabic is memorizing things and practically using the technical grammar and the sarf in the hadith. Man ja'a minkumul jumu'ata falyaghtasil. Man ja'a minkumul jumu'ata falyaghtasil. So break that down. Why does it say falyaghtasil with sukoon? Man ja'a minkumul. Why is there a dhamma on the meme? Everybody understand this? Why does it say man ja'a minkumul jumu'ata and not jumu'atu or t? That's my Arabic that I've learned theoretically, technically. Now I'm what? Putting it into practice. But you studying hadith, fiqh, and any other book, aqidah, has to be based off of strengthening and enriching the what? The Arabic. And not studying the hadith as a separate field. Everybody clear on this? Now, once you get a basic standard of proficiency in Arabic, you get it a little bit. You can break it down. You got a little bit of Arab with you, huh? You can move and, you see what I'm saying? A little head movement, as they say, huh? Sam, you can bob your head just a little bit. Get a little, few things under your belt now. The more Aqidah books that you read, the more Fatawa that you read, the more Sahih Bukhari that you read, your Arabic does become nothing but what? And sharper. And it becomes manifested. Arab, Sarf becomes what? Manifested. But in the beginning, don't study those sciences as what? Separate sciences. They're footnotes which have no purpose except for serving the actual book, the chapter. That's it. After you get a basic level of proficiency, you get a little good, you get a little couple fancy techniques, then you do what? Then you actually take hadith and study it and learn it what? As a separate what? Subject. وهكذا. Allah knows best. Let's be our last question, inshallah ta'ala.
H.A. Arlington, Virginia. How to determine whether everyday items are halal or haram? Some say if it has a kosher sign, then it is permissible. Is this true?
It depends on what is your way of looking at life. Are you knowledgeable enough to discern for yourself, do research, the proper Islamic fiqh? Because many of us, we think things are haram. In actuality, they're not really haram. This is riba. But according to the Islamic fiqh, that's not riba. It's permissible to do that transaction at the bank. It's permissible. But because of the lack of proper fiqh, we say that's riba. And it's not actually what? Riba. Secondly is, what is your work ethic with regards to these types of things? Do you have the ability to do the research, to call the companies, to go here, to do this and do that, and figure out what does the sign mean? What is the interest? What is the rate? If you do have the ability, then stick with your own ijtihad. The Islamic ability and the what? Worldly ability. If you do not, then it is upon you to ask those who know and to follow that which is basic and simple that you can trust. Whether it's a kosher sign, a halal sign, the ratings, on Amazon. Everybody understand this? Let's make one example of this. A brother once, this is an example of this. I had some beef jerky, right? That I bought from a Muslim establishment, a Muslim store. The name of the company, the store, everything was well known to provide halal, food. So, you can attest to this, we're not making this up. You weren't with me, but you bought beef jerky. So, I wanted some more beef jerky. I was about to take a trip somewhere, and I needed a lot of it. And I didn't have time to go to the store and get it. It's a different city, different location. So I went on trusty, what? Amazon. No one wants to shake their head now, right? There's no such thing as trusty Amazon. You're praising the kuffar. It's shit. The fake what? The fake piety. Even though everybody on their phone got what? Amazon Prime. That's not riba though. That's not what? That's not riba. Paying the fee every year. But the credit card fee is what? Riba. It's riba. Sahih? Saw that? You paying a standard amount to get guaranteed 2-day shipping, no matter where the product is, as long as it's on Prime. That's not anything wrong with that. But you paying a late fee for a credit card is automatically what? Everybody understand the double standards? So I went on Amazon and I typed in halal beef jerky. So they didn't have any at the time. And I typed in kosher beef jerky. So I called a friend and I said, listen, I did some research and this so on and so forth that came up. What do you think? You know what the brother told me? He says, don't you always trust Amazon? Don't you always take this review in this product? He says, so what's the difference now? You make ijtihad now, and any other time you're just a total muqallid of Amazon. It doesn't what? Everybody clear on this? But if you can make your own ijtihad, then what? Make your own ijtihad. No, just because it says kosher doesn't mean it's what? Kosher. Just because it says halal doesn't mean it's what? Halal. Because of my research, the context clues. I saw a cart the other day, wallahi, in New York City. It was in Manhattan. It said halal gyro, lamb over rice, chicken over rice. Then after that, it said Italian sausage. I tell you, point proven or not, is the Italian sausage zabiha, or is Italian sausage notorious for what? Oink. Everybody understand this? So that's an example of you using a what? A clue in front of you that something is not right, even though the cart says what? Halal. So maybe the gyro is halal. I don't eat lamb gyro, but it's just saying maybe it is halal. But the fact that he's selling Italian sausage, something could be what? Okie doke. It could be an issue in which he's saying it's halal. It's not actually what? Now we go to another brother's cart or restaurant or Amazon, in which is known, reputable for having halal products or kosher products. Now all of a sudden it says, no, I don't want it, I don't know, I can't be sure. That's not necessarily what? And Allah knows best. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Jazakumullah khairan.